Greetings, and welcome to A Year of Movies, a Planet Geek production. For this project, we are using the Ivan Walters reference book of 365 films to watch on the day they happened. Each day, we watch a movie associated with the date we are watching it on. And as it is the 23rd of July, we are going to be watching Patton from 1970, directed by Franklin J. Schaeffer and George C. Scott. Probably one of my favorite George C. Scott movies. I mean, there's quite a few on that. The Exorcist 3. I mean, like, if you know, the performance I saw of him. Now, I don't know what the circumstances were around my first viewing of this, but the intensity that George C. Scott brings to the role. And that being said, like I'd already mentioned, not only does this movie star George C. Scott, but it also stars Carl Malden, Stephen Young, Michael Strong, Michael Bates, and Siegfried Rauch. To-hero George S. Patton, General George S. Patton, played by George C. Scott. The entry into North African campaign and ending with his removal from command after his outspoken criticism of the U.S. post-war military strategy. So like I'd already said at the beginning, acting performances of George C. Scott. Not that George C. Scott does a bad acting job at all. No, he is like one of the top actors of all time. Drive and his passion to delivery of this role makes this most of the time, very unlikable person be engaging to watch just because of his performance. I mean, the way that he sticks to his quote-unquote guns to do things the way that he has always done them, to be the army, like his battlefields and whatnot. He is so driven to be victorious, he will go to almost any means necessary to do that, even at times when it comes to like shaming his men underneath him. The supporting role, and which George C. Scott's acting obviously rises everyone up to match him tone for this movie. And again, we're dealing with a military story in the 40s, being looked back at from the perspective of the 70s. Well, I guess the late 60s, in 1970. But it's just a great performance. It's a huge looking movie. There's giant scenery shots that use a lot of, I mean, when we get into the combat that we see in it, it's really impressively realistic. A lot of great explosions, perfect pyrotechnics, and some cool stunts and whatnot. But again, when it comes down to it, it is the acting that really drives this story. And again, having George C. Scott in the lead is definitely a strong contender. And it is definitely does not feel like you're watching the movie for the length that the movie actually is. That's just how engaging this story and the way it is brought forward. And that happens on July 23rd, 1943, which is about an hour, 2 hour and 52-minute movie. And when it came to the Academy Awards for that particular season, it ended up winning for Best Actor for George C. Scott, Best Picture, Best Director, Best Film Editing, Best Original Screenplay, Best Sound, and Best Art Direction, and also getting nominations for Best Cinematography, Best Visual Effects, and Best Original Score. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this particular episode and look off into the future to see what we're going to be watching for tomorrow, and that is going to be the 24th of July, and that is Bonnie and Clyde from 1967. So until next time, go see a movie.